Hello there. This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are discussing a few things that you might want to watch before Ahsoka hits Disney+. We're gonna go ahead and hop right on into it. It's really just highly recommended that you watch these shows before the Ahsoka Disney+ show, but it has been described and kind of teased at that before that the Ahsoka show isn't necessarily in need of you having to know what goes on in some of these other shows, and that the Ahsoka Disney+ series is still enjoyable whether or not you do watch these other shows. The voice behind Ahsoka Tano shared the TV shows that fans should watch before Disney Plus streams the new Ahsoka series from Star Wars. Ahsoka has a long history over the years as an important Star Wars character before she finally made the jump into live action during season 2 of The Mandalorian, and then also later appears in the Book of Boba Fett, with Rosario Dawson embodying the role on Disney Plus and in live action. And as I'd mentioned, she'd later play an important supporting role in Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett alongside Din Djarin and Luke Skywalker, although fans have seen her develop as a hero for years before ever even joining the Mandoverse officially in live action. Recently speaking with Cinema Blend, Ahsoka Tano voice actress Ashley Eckstein shared her thoughts on what fans should watch before the upcoming Ahsoka series. Eckstein noted that fans will miss out on crucial backstory without watching these series before Rosario Dawson comes back into the story as Ahsoka Tano. As she says, in quotes, "I highly recommend that you take the time to watch these series, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on crucial backstory that you really need to know to fully enjoy the Ahsoka series, which is so exciting." Ending that quote right there. And as a disclaimer, as I had mentioned earlier on at the beginning of this video, it's not necessarily, necessary to have seen these other shows, but yes, they definitely do make it more enjoyable and help tell some of the backstory and fill in some of those gaps that we may see for the Ahsoka Disney Plus series. Number 1 is Star Wars The Clone Wars. Taking place between the events of Episode 2 Attack of the Clones and Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars The Clone Wars shows Ahsoka's early rise to power as she works her way from a youngling through the Jedi ranks. While she isn't present during the entirety of this series and movie, she plays as big of a role as anybody as she improves on her skills as a warrior and a leader. And as I had just mentioned, yes, there is also a Clone Wars movie. That's where you would start, and then you would continue on with the actual show. The second show that's recommended would be Star Wars Rebels. Ahsoka returns in Star Wars Rebels as an adult after honing her skills even further, assisting the Ghost Ship crew with a number of missions in the first 2 seasons along with Season 4. The Ahsoka series is even said to be something akin to a Season 5 of Star Wars Rebels, continuing on that journey, with a handful of its characters returning from the animated series as the former Jedi warrior works to rediscover her place in the galaxy. The third recommendation is Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, the most recent of all of these. Ahsoka Tano is the centerpiece of 2 episodes of Tales of the Jedi, highlighting 2 vastly different time periods in the iconic Star Wars character's life. One episode takes a look at the character only shortly after her birth on her home planet, while the other takes her back to her Clone Wars days during an interaction with Star Wars icon Anakin Skywalker. All of these shows by which you can of course find on Disney Plus. So this here all being said, how will Ahsoka's journey continue on Disney Plus, with the series taking place during the same time frame as The Mandalorian Season 3, which was recently confirmed by Sabine Wren live-action actress Natasha Liu Paradiso. Ahsoka will finally give fans a long-awaited look into the titular warrior's journey after more than a year away from the small screen, last seen in the Tales of the Jedi animated show. And while there will be a number of differences to Ahsoka from what fans saw in the aforementioned animated projects, fans will get plenty of nods to the character's past history as her future unfolds as well. Clone Wars is very lengthy, and you don't necessarily have to watch all of it. There is a section on Disney Plus that shows you Ahsoka-centric episodes that you can see. All of those episodes is what I would really highly recommend. And for those of you that are especially curious about the order that you might watch these projects in, I would for sure start with the Clone Wars animated movie, then move on to the series with those specific episodes for Ahsoka. And yes, those earlier episodes are going to feel very childlike. They're on Cartoon Network in like the early 2000s, but it will for sure only get better with time. After that, I would for sure recommend going and moving on to Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars Rebels for sure takes place before before the events of the original trilogy compared to when the Mandoverse and for when the Ahsoka show takes place is after the events of the original trilogy, so there is a time difference that we will be seeing with the Ahsoka series. Lastly, we will also see the Tales of the Jedi, which is, there's only 3 episodes that are centric to Ahsoka, the rest focus around Count Dooku, which are still really great episodes, but really focus on those Ahsoka episodes. You'll really be able to tell on where and how those fit into the Star Wars timeline. They kind of just bridge in some of those gaps. For those of you that are still watching and may not take a lot of interest in wanting to watch these shows, as I had also mentioned at the beginning of this video, don't worry about there's plenty of probably videos here on YouTube that kind of overview them and just kind of explain them anyway. And also for the fact, as I had also mentioned at the beginning of this video, and this is something that has been kind of confirmed and teased at for the Ahsoka Disney Plus show, is that you won't necessarily have to have watched any of the previous material like Clone Wars, the Star Wars Rebels, or Tales of the Jedi to understand exactly what's going on in Ahsoka. It works as its own solo thing, its own solo show, but yet kind of still does bridge in some of those gaps and acts as a continuation for Star Wars Rebels and acts as like a season 5 to that animated show almost. But as I had mentioned, Ahsoka still works as its own show. Now, for those of you that might be wondering about the rest of the Mandoverse, do I have to have seen all seasons of The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and whatever else might be squished in there at this point? Well, for good news is that it's just those. It's just the seasons of The Mandalorian, 3 seasons, and then The Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, you might as well go ahead and watch those to catch you up to date for the Ahsoka show. I know that I will for sure probably be doing that. I definitely think it's something that you're gonna want to probably do, but I think that for a majority of the episodes that will connect to the rest of the Mandoverse with the other seasons of The Mandalorian and maybe even for the Book of Boba Fett, I think that's something that they'll kind of just bring up and kind of show that in like a recap essentially before the episode begins, if it's going to be kind of connecting to what we saw in other parts of the Mandoverse and other shows. Now, if they do that for like other shows that might be outside of the Mandoverse, that's something that's up in the air, like flashbacks for the Clone Wars in live action. I think that's something that would be downright shown and explained and everything like that. Now, if you're only going to choose to watch one of those shows that we did talk about in today's video, for sure go with Star Wars Rebels, as that one is leading right into the events of the Ahsoka show just about, or connects just about the most. Guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking, what you want to see with the Ahsoka Disney Plus show in the comment section down below, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. This, of course, has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. Peace out.